Good day folks, this is John Mendoza from C Magazine and Wheel2Wheel. Today we're testing the BMW R18.
The R18 is BMW's answer to the cruiser market. Paying homage to the iconic hallmarks of the brand, this motorcycle is unlike any traditional styled cruiser we're used to. While its lines are elongated and low, this cruiser's character is unmistakably BMW. It is powered by the biggest BMW Boxer twin yet, an air and oil-cooled 1802cc flat twin with pushrod activated overhead valves. Maximum power figures are 91 horsepower at 4,750 RPM and 116 pound-foot of torque at 3,000 RPM. Shifting is handled by a single-disc dry clutch mated to 6-speed transmission that leads up to a shaft-driven rear wheel. The chassis is a double cradle steel frame with a telescopic front fork with 4.7 inches of travel. The rear suspension is a steel swing arm with central shock strut with 3.5 inches of travel. Tire sizes are 120/70 R19 on the front and 180/65/16 on the rear. The brakes are handled by a trio of 300mm diameter disc brakes with 4 piston calipers, 2 on the front and 1 in the rear. The BMW R18 is equipped with automatic stability control, full LED lighting, keyless activation, integrated indicators and brake lights, speedometer with multifunction display, and 3 riding modes: rock, roll, and rain. Now let's ride.
Okay, off the bat, this bike feels very nimble. Yeah, it can turn. It's only hindered by the ground clearance. Lacks a little bit of that. You're going to be scraping the floorboards for sure if you ride a little bit fast like we do. Oops. Okay. So, ridden by a experienced rider, this bike can really hustle. It has so much torque to get you out of hairy situations, and it can corner too. Although yeah, you're gonna have to contend with ground clearance issues. Your floorboard's definitely gonna scrape if you try to follow those guys.
Okay, the BMW R18, well, it's a cruiser, as you can see, but it's not your typical cruiser. It's not like the traditional American style of cruiser. So this one is more in line with the classic BMWs. When you ride it, you'll feel that it's like riding an old R50, pretty much, where the riding position is somewhat very European standard. That's how it feels to me. Feels like a classic European standard bike. It's not the lazy boy kind of riding where you have your feet forward. Here it's not a mid-control type of cruiser. Alright, so it has very nice handling. It's very easy, it's very relaxed. As you can see, it is a 1800cc air-cooled boxer twin, but it's not just 1800 cc's. In reality, it's 1802 cc's. Alright, so it's even bigger, and it's as big as it seems. It feels like you have a table in front of you when you're riding it. It is shaft driven, as you can see. So not much maintenance there. That thing will last the lifetime of the bike, unlike with the chained and belt driven motorcycles. I love the exhaust. It's a fishtail type of exhaust, pretty much like the vintage bikes from the 1950s. So the black and chrome really works for me. I love it. I like it. It looks very premium and it's very tastefully done. Okay, the LED headlight. This is one of the best headlights in the market. I used it last night going through SLEX, the dark parts of SLEX, and it really wasn't a problem for me because the light was so bright. Now, very typical of BMWs, they now have this new style of having no rear tail light. So everything is incorporated with the turn signals, your brake light, your tail light, and the turn signals. Alright, one gripe I have about this bike is that it doesn't have a fuel gauge. Come on BMW, it's 2023, you gotta have a fuel gauge on this thing. So when the fuel light comes on, you have about approximately 40 miles to get to a gas station, which is very much generous. I'm pretty sure you'd find a gas station with that amount of distance. So the seat height is 690 millimeters, so it's very low, and it's easy to get on. It's easy to flat foot on the floor, yeah, on both feet. So the switch gear is typical BMW. So you have all your menu here. You can switch between, I think it's 3 rider modes. So rock, rain, and roll. Alright, so you have rain, rock, and roll. Rock, rain, roll. Alright, so it's like rock and roll. Rock, rain, roll. Alright, so all your menu stuff is right here on the left hand switch gear. You can choose between whatever you want to see on the gauge. So you have your voltmeter there, you have your distance, odometer, and or whatnot, even the time. Okay, and your RPM. So with this bike, because it has a lot of torque, because it has paint cans for pistons, it's 1800 cc's. You need not more than get the engine to get off idle to get it moving. So it's very rarely that I get past 2000 RPM when I'm riding this bike. It's always below 2000 RPM because it has so much torque. It's like the hand of God pushing you forward with this bike. So no need to wring its neck. It will push you. With the engine sound, I love the engine sound. It's so relaxing. It's not noisy, but you can really hear that boxer engine twin big growl from there when you rev it up, although there's really no need to rev it up. So it's a very relaxing bike to ride. And even in the twisties, it's only limited by the foot pegs. I find myself scraping these floorboards all the time because it has very low ground clearance. In fact, I broke off my 360 camera because I mounted it down there and it scraped the floor. So it's broken now. Thank you. I hope BMW will help me with that. Alright, stopping power, man, I love how the brakes feel. There's no sponginess there. I think that's a 300 millimeter front rotor, 2 of them, and the brakes are very strong even at the rear. If you can see the rear brake, that's a huge brake rotor on the back. Okay, so that's a huge rear brake rotor, and that's 4-piston caliper. So it's mighty enough to get you stopped abruptly. This bike is so heavy, it has 761 pounds or 345 kilograms, but it's really not a problem because even though I'm only 5'6" with a 31-inch inseam, and this bike is heavy as a truck, it has a reverse gear. Really quite clever how BMW did it. Just turn this thing on. It's not your typical reverse gear. So, okay. What BMW did is they have an electric motor for the reverse. Okay, so you actuate it by pushing this lever down, and you will see R on your display. So when that's on R, which means reverse, you can now actuate the reverse via this button here, this starter button. So if you press that, the bike goes on to reverse. Okay, and then once you're done, just pull this thing back up, and alright, you're ready to go. So it's that easy to rock and roll on this bike. No, I'm 5'6" with 31-inch inseam. Okay, as you can see, I can flat foot on both feet, no problem. It's very low, but it's when you ride it that the leg room becomes a problem, because it's not like an American style cruiser where you have your feet forward. This one, you have your feet in the middle and the engine is blocking it. So I would suggest for taller riders to take out the backrest and get an accessory seat that allows you to move a little bit backwards, because this is a little bit cramped even for me. Okay.
One very important thing that my wife says about the BMW R18 is that it's the best motorcycle she's ridden in as a pillion rider. So for me, I take this bike over any GS for a long ride with a pillion rider with me any day of the week. This is just the best ride if you're gonna bring somebody with you.
Alright, so overall, I love this experience from the BMW R18. It's not your typical cruiser. It's very much a European classic. That's how it feels. Like the old bikes of BMW, like the R50, R65. That's how it feels like. So I love that BMW didn't copy the traditional American format, because of course they have to do their own. So thumbs up for this BMW R18. Alright, this is John Mendoza for C Magazine and Wheel2Wheel. See you on the next ride.